Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well. So today I want to do an update video on iSpy versus JEPY. So this time I want to look at, instead of like the usual like analysis, I wanted to kind of show some of the shares outstanding and the net assets themselves. So who's going to come out on top on the 0DTE ETF showdown? And by the way, this is from a recent comic. This is from, I think, King Kong versus Godzilla versus like the Justice League, and they had like the Kraken versus Godzilla, which I thought was a pretty cool scene. But anyway, back to I Spy. So it's been out for about a month now, and it had a pretty nice asset increase since December 18th, 2023, at 434%. And the shares outstanding also increased about almost at the same rate, so 430%. So this is actually ideally what you want to see. You want to see the asset increase and the shares outstanding grow roughly around the same rate. And in this case, they actually have a slightly, it's like, to me, it's a slightly good value. Meanwhile, over for JEPY, they for around the same time frame, the net asset increase was about 13%, and the shares outstanding also roughly around the same rate, so about 13 versus 15%, which isn't too bad. But I would say like it's slightly overvalued, or I guess another way to look at it is that some of the yield is getting a little bit diluted. And then I'm also for the Defiance. Well, actually for both Defiance and ProShares. I'm waiting for like the semi-annual or the annual reports to come out because I want to see like the actual official the return of capital and the NAV erosion, etc. Similar to how YieldMax broke theirs down. So I think maybe later in the year we'll start to see either the semi-annual or the annual reports, and it'll be interesting to see like how they they compare. And then I'll also want to start introducing maybe like the like a Google Trends, like the YouTube search. So I guess when iSpy first came out, there was a nice spike in interest, but then like over time, it's for both of them they kind of and then so it looks like Je- JEPY JEPY is still a little bit more popular, at least for like the last month. So I guess like if you're also interested in this, like for shares outstanding, for most ETF websites, it's usually published daily. But unfortunately, there are like some like smaller outfits that are, I guess like they have really bad disclosures. But that's like usually very rare. Most of the more reputable ETF firms, like they publish this on a daily basis. So if you want to track this yourself for your own, like your favorite ETFs, you can do that yourself. And then like if they happen to have like a really dodgy website, you can all I guess like the next best thing is just to, like look at the actual net asset value itself versus closing price. So just to check for any discounts or any premium that you're paying. So this is just like one factor when comparing ETFs. Your overall yield on cost basis is the most important number. So, but this is also good to like keep an eye on what your neighbors are doing. So just in case like you don't want your hard-earned yield to like be diluted by like maybe some YouTuber or someone on Reddit or whatever social media. Like once they publish like something good or bad, usually on the good side, people like just pile in, and then that dilutes the yield, and that's what we kind of want to avoid. And just to kind of end this on an end note, JEPY, they win on volume. So as you can see, it's almost now this day wasn't too bad. Usually it's like I guess like more like around 10 to 1. In this case, I Spy has been picking up a little bit of more volume. And of course, I'm still waiting for the overall distribution information. Since it's around the middle of January, I'm hoping that maybe in the next week or two, like the for ProShares iSpy, like they'll give us like the information for both the regular distribution payable dates and return of capital information. No, that's weird. I think I might be frozen here on my. Oh, here we go. So I think like overall, it's still a good time to be alive. I think as more of these like covered call ETFs come out, I think this is good. Think because like you don't want any one company to kind of have a monopoly and on like the space, and it also relieves like kind of like shares outstanding like the crowding effect. So I want to try to avoid like the get like being diluted. So and then it's also good to have like different risk return profiles because I remember like there was a viewer that commented that they had multiple S&P 500 related option based ETFs, and I thought at the time it was kind of weird. But then I understand why, because just in case like any one ETF gets too crowded, then you have like other ones to kind of offset some of the damage. Seems to be kind of frozen again. But anyway, I guess like the usual risks that you want to be aware of is that there's no perfect ETF, and then you always have to kind of like keep an eye on your holdings and don't like put too much into any one ETF. Like because I guess like when people advertise like these high yields, people will naturally want to go into it. But ironically, that lowers the yield, so you have to be careful. And then also there's the usual, for all of these cover call or option based ETFs. Like if volatility goes down, then of course your like, overall yield will go down too. So again, keep an eye on these things. So if you like this type of content, please consider giving this a like. I appreciate all the new subscribers so far. Of course, like I appreciate old and new subscribers, and I hope people make some good money out there. Just be careful out there with what you buy, and I hope 2024 will be a good year for you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.